Hi, welcome grade 11s of the ABM track. Let's continue our discussion with fractions. So we have here subtracting fractions. We have similar fractions, mixed numbers minus whole numbers, fractions that are dissimilar fractions, and mixed numbers of dissimilar fractions. So let's dive into subtracting similar fractions. The rule for addition applies also to subtraction. So for letter A, it's very easy. It's 3 over 5 minus 1 over 5. These similar fractions, you just copy the denominator. So copy the denominator, 5 here, then subtract numerators. 3 minus 1 is 2. So 2 over 5 can be further factored, so 2 over 5 is the final answer. So that's our answer for letter A. Letter B. Mixed numbers, but the same denominators. So, similar fractions. So we apply our rule with our subtraction where we split first the whole number. So letter B, it's 3 over 5, 3 and 5 over 12 rather. Minus 2 and 1 over 12. Okay, our technique is to separate. So you have 3 minus 2, then combine this fraction. So we will have now this portion that 5 over 12 minus 1 over 12. So our rule, again, in fraction is, if it's similar, you just copy the denominator. So then, minus, subtract the numerators. 5 minus 1 is 4. So you have 4 over 12. Again, if you notice, our requirement says reduce your answers with slowest form. 4 can be factored. 4 times 1, this is 4 times 3. So the common factor is 4. So it can be reduced to 1 over 3. So our simplest form here is 1 over 3. So if we combine this 1 over 3 here, take note, for clarification, this is now 1 over 3. Then combine this 3 minus 2. So we have 1. So you have 1 and 1/3. Our final answer in its simplest form is 1 and 1/3. So that's how we subtract mixed numbers that are similar. Then we have letter C. Almost the same as letter B. It's a bit easier. For letter C, it's 8 and 1/3 minus 3. It's a whole number. So we will just again split the whole number. So 8 minus 3, you will get 5, then copy the fraction. So you will get 5 and 1/3. So that's our final answer for letter C. Stop. Letter D. So you have 9 and minus 3 over 5. So we are subtracting a dissimilar fraction. 9, 10 minus 3 over 5. We know that 10 is equivalent to 5 times 2. Therefore, we can change this second fraction to times 2. So that means times whole by 2 times 2. So we have 6 over 10. Converting the second term so that we will now have a similar fraction. So we now have, this is now equivalent to, again, by multiplying the second term times 2, so that the second term will also have a denominator of 10. So we now have 6 over 10, or 3 times 2, 5 times 2. So we now have 9 over 10 minus 6 over 10. So we are now again subtracting a similar fraction. So you now have copy the denominator, subtract the numerator. So 9 minus 6 is 3. Cannot be factored further. 3 over 10 is our final answer. Stop. Okay. Letter E. So we are solving now a mixed fraction which has a different denominator. That means we are solving some, or subtracting rather, mixed fractions that are dissimilar. So again, the rule is very simple. Letter E, separate the whole numbers. So you have 13 minus 2, then separate the fractions. 2/5 minus 1/4. The fastest way is to find the least common denominator is multiply both sides by, multiply the first term by the denominator of the second term. So this is 2 over 5 times, multiply by the denominator of the second term. So times 4 times 4. So you have 8, it's here. The first term, it's now 8 over 1/8. Then the second term will be multiplied. So it's 1/4 times by the denominator of the first term times 5 times 5. So you will have 5 over 20. So your fractions now are similar. 8 over 20 minus 5 over 20. So you have now 3 over 20. Cannot be processed further. So this is the simplest form of the fraction. So 13 minus 2 for the whole numbers. 13 minus 2 is 11. So here is 11. Combine these two. Our final answer is 11 and 3 over 20. So that's how we subtract fractions that are similars, mixed numbers that are similars, mixed numbers minus whole number, subtracting dissimilar fractions, and subtracting mixed numbers that are dissimilars. Thank you. Hi. Welcome back, ABM grade 11 for our business mathematics. We are now in the multiplication series of our fractions. So shout out to all my ABM students, grade 11. Okay, multiply the given fractions and reduce the answer to its lowest term. Multiplication is very straightforward. This doesn't matter if the fraction now is similar or dissimilar. So you just get the product of the numerator by multiplying both the numerator, and you get the product of the denominator by multiplying both, and just reduce the answer to its lowest term. So letter A, let's answer letter A. Okay, sorry for that. So you just multiply the numerator. For example, 1/5 over 1/5. 1 times 1 is 1, and 5 times 5 is 25, and that's it. You just multiply the numerator and multiply the denominator and find its simplest term. It so happens that it's 1 over 25. Letter B. When you multiply a fraction with a whole number, always imagine this, that a whole number always has a denominator of 1. Therefore, letter B becomes 33/4 times 36 over 1. So you now have 36 times 3, that's 108. And 4 times 1, of course, it's 4. So 108 divided by 4 is 27. So when we simplify, when the denominator is bigger than the numerator, when the numerator is bigger than the denominator, this is called an improper fraction. So we reduce it to its simplest term. So 108 divided by 4, that's 27. So 27 is our final answer. 27 over 1, or simply, sorry, that's 27. 27. That's our final answer. C. Letter C. Again, our rule is simply to multiply the numerator by the numerator, then get the product. Denominator as well, multiply and get the product. So you will get 8 over 15 times 5 over 7. So you will get 8 times 5, 40, and 15 times 7, so you will get 105. Again, take note that if our answer ends in 0 and 5, both can be divided by 5, or can be factored by 5. So that means this is 8 times 5, and 105 is 21 times 5. So their common factors are 5. Therefore, if you take this, 8 and 21 is the simplest form. So our answer is 8 over 21. So our answer here is 8 over 21. Can it be factored further? So that's our final answer. But if you know this, why, sir? Why you explain the same thing? It's A and C. There's a special case here in letter C because you can do this as well. If this is 8 over 15 times 5 over 15, 5 over 7 rather. If you don't want to go for simplification form later, you can factor this portion now. So 8 is 2 times 4 over 15 is 3 times 5 times 5 over 7. So that means numerator and denominator can be cancelled. 5 and 5. So cancel 5 here, cancel 5 here. So what is left is 1 and 1. So you now have 2 times 4 times 1 is 8. Then 3 times 1 times 7 is 21. So our answer is already in its simplest form because we factored here from the start. So we have the same answer. It's still 8 over 21. Thank you.